What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. We got some major stuff coming out here today. First, we have a ruling from the Supreme Court striking down affirmative action, saying that race cannot be a factor. Take a look here at this. Supreme Court rejects affirmative action, ending the use of race as a factor in college admissions. This will be for both public and private colleges. They're saying that race can only be a factor when looking at an individual and only in their individual use here. Here you'll see what they say here in a second. I'm going to let you hear their exact quotes. Take a look here at this. The Supreme Court ruled today that race-conscious admissions policies of Harvard College and the University of North Carolina violate the Constitution. And really, it's not really just these two particular colleges, because these are kind of policies that are done nationwide. Bringing an end to affirmative action in higher education in a decision that will reverberate across campuses nationwide. The court ruled 6-3 along ideological lines in the University of North Carolina case and 6-2 in the Harvard dispute, as Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson recused herself. I'll give you a look here at the current makeup of the Supreme Court here. There's also some speculation here that a couple of the Supreme Court justices might be retiring here soon, as they're in their 70s. So that could be some potential ramifications here for the next presidential election coming up here in about a year and a half. It would be next November here. Remember that a president gets to appoint them, per se, gets to nominate them, and then the Senate gets to elect them, almost for a lifetime appointment. Remember, they get to pretty much stay there for life or until they retire, which is pretty much almost kind of the same thing here. You can see here, Chief Justice John Roberts authored the majority opinion, joined by most of the rest of the Supreme Court justices there in a 6-2 and 6-3 decision here. Quote, the Harvard and UNC admissions programs cannot be reconciled with the guaranteed of the Equal Protection Clause. Roberts wrote, both programs lack sufficiently focused and measurable objectives warranting the use of race. Unavoidably employ race in a negative manner, involve race stereotyping, and lack meaningful endpoints. Quote, we have never permitted admissions programs to work in that way, and we will not do so today. And a pretty stern quote there. But Roberts wrote that universities can still consider an applicant's discussion of how race affected his or her life, be it through discrimination, inspiration, or otherwise, in an individual manner, but not in a broad policy for hundreds or thousands of people overall in a blanket manner. Military academies are effectively exempt from the decision due to the potentially distinct interests they present, which is a little interesting there. Students, the Chief Justice concluded, must be evaluated based on their experiences as an individual, not on the basis of race. Quote, many universities have for too long done just the opposite, and in doing so, they have concluded wrongly that the touchstone of an individual's identity is not challenges bested, skills built, or lessons learned, but the color of their skin. The constitutional history does not tolerate that choice. And really, I think this is the right decision. You can let me know your thoughts here in the comments, and I think that's what equal opportunity looks for, is that we shouldn't really be admitting, even if it's minority races, we shouldn't be purposely looking for minority races and admitting them just because of their races, right? And I mean, you can let me know your thoughts here in the comments, but I think this is why the Supreme Court passed this. And I think this is kind of what the problem, and I think this is why the lawsuit was there. And I think this is why some people were upset here is that some people were getting admitted because they weren't minorities. And I think the whole point of, equal opportunity and even for women, it's actually interesting because this is the first time we've had, and I'll show you, we'll go back here. This is actually the most diverse Supreme Court justice that we have. We actually have 4 women here on the Supreme Court here as well. So it's actually a pretty good diverse here. We used to go back here to Supreme Courts and it would just be all white men, and then eventually we had like, 1 woman on there, so we're actually pretty, I think this is the most diverse Supreme Court justice we've ever had, or the Supreme Court, in total there. But you got to kind of remember here that when looking for equality here, everybody wants to be treated the same. So when, colleges in general are admitting thousands or millions of people based on race, whether that's good, bad, or, whatever, um, is that a good thing? And I think not. And again, I'm talking to thousands of people here too. So that's kind of a problem here because you might be on the good side or the bad side of that, admitting their race, or your children might be. So the question is, do you want them to factor in race on a blanket statement there? And I think most people would say no, because should that be a criteria of, or should it be, how you've performed, how your skills are, how your grades are, maybe the circumstances that you've gone through in your life, or should it be, the color of your skin and how you were born? I don't think this should be a factor. You can let me know your thoughts here in the comments, but I think this was the right decision. We're also expecting the Supreme Court decision on student loan forgiveness here soon, very soon. So we will see what happens here on that. That's $10,000 to $20,000 of student loan forgiveness. A lot of people have very mixed decisions on this. President Biden actually vetoed a similar decision on this here recently that was able to pass the Senate with only, I think it was only 51 votes here in a surprising pass. It was able to pass with only 51 votes because of a little known rule, and President Biden passed, or I'm sorry, vetoed that. So the Supreme Court will hopefully be giving us that ruling here soon. There's like 45 million people that have been waiting for months and months and months on this. And also the Supreme, or I'm sorry, also the student loan forgiveness payments will be starting here soon. Take a look at this. Unfortunately, that relief is coming to an end. That is the forbearance of pausing student loan payments. Student loan interest will start accruing again on September 1st, 2023. And payments will restart again in October. The Education Department confirmed. I think it's October 1st. So that is going to be starting here very soon. July, really, it's going to be happening here in a matter of days. So we have July, August, and then September 1st, we'll start the interest here. So we only have about 2 more months here. Yeah. And remember here that this is really going to hurt the economy either way, because these people are going to have to, millions and millions of Americans are going to have to start paying on this. And it's just going to be less money they're going to have. No, either way, no matter what, the average student loan payment is about $5,000 a year. It's going to be less money they're going to have for anything, for food, for rent, for transportation, for their house payments, for anything. So it's a pretty hefty sum. And remember, 2/3 of Americans already live paycheck to paycheck. So no matter what, it's going to cut down on, spending power for tens of millions of Americans. So Yeah, let me know your thoughts here in the comments. Make sure to subscribe down below. Click the bell icon so you don't miss out on any new videos. It's completely free to do so. New videos come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Also, thanks for liking and sharing these videos. I'll keep you up to date here. Click here to see a major problem going on in almost all states right now, or President Biden's Social Security raise plan. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.